Life got you down? Feeling stressed out? Well, I have a solution for you. Alcohol, which I prescribe in large quantities to numb pain. It just so happens there is a holiday to celebrate such an occasion, St. Patrick's Day, which in all honesty is just a reason to get shit-faced rather than a legitimate holiday, but still. Instead of waking up tomorrow with a killer hangover, luckily we have video games to use as an outlet for all the things we're not willing to do ourselves. So instead of heading off to a real-life bar today, how about you sit back, relax, and I run down my top 10 favourite alcohol establishments in the world of gaming. No? Well, stuff it, I'm already here. The Hillians have a lot on their plate at the moment. I mean, between the Alpha section, the Doms, and this creepy fucker, they need a nice tranquil place to sit back, relax, and have a nice cold drink. The Akuta Bar is that place. This bar motel hybrid has both a bar on the bottom floor and some beds on the top floor to slip off all that alcohol you drank last night. Not to mention there's posters for the seminar on Soul Power, a game of air hockey with the worst control since the Mako, a non-existent dress code. I mean, how they let this hideous orange turtleneck get in, I have no clue. Not to mention it even has a secret base to Rebel Group's headquarters. Akuta's Bar is the center hub for drinking away your troubles in Greater Hills. No matter which side of the is Jolly gay debate you're on, he's gay. You have to admit Jolly's is a pretty hip and happening place. Although it's owned by two people, only one of the dynamic duo will be there to serve you when you first enter the world. He entrusts you, as some complete random stranger he barely knows, to save his partner Mary Maggie Maltpass, which you later discover has been eaten by a big fuck-off fish. With a menu that includes salty dumplings, toad in a hole, and whatever the hell semen surprise is, there will be no shortage of things that you can order. Well, okay, technically there's only 3 things, but still. And not to mention they also have theme nights like Grab a Sailor Night, and a jukebox which plays all the tunes from the game for when you get blind drunk and are ready for some karaoke. Just as a little side note, Blackbeard in the back room makes mention of Project Dream, a cancelled Rare game which eventually became the original Banjo-Kazooie. That's your education for the day. You're welcome. Okay, I'm just gonna get this out of the way up front. I fucking love Red Dead Redemption. It's one of my favourite games this gen, so naturally I would find a way to include it on the list. And I have. Not only is Armadillo Saloon an attractive rustic hangout, but it also has everything else you would want from an Old West watering hole, including whiskey, poker, hookers, a killer piano player, and even a balcony you can jump straight onto yours from. Most importantly of all, you can get drunk and get into a fist fight, and assuming you don't draw a weapon, fight it out gentleman style, no guns allowed. One of the nicer bars on the list, the Stray Sheep, not only offers a range of drinks other than beer, which in itself is unusual for a video game, it also has a kick-ass arcade cabinet, which features some of the game's most complex puzzles. I mean, 120 levels and multiple endings, what? Extravagant? Yes. Awesome? Hells yes! If that isn't enough for you, you can also chat to the other interesting patrons, pick out some tunes on the jukebox, and get blind drunk whilst being told actual facts about alcohol. Not to mention it has a haunted bathroom, which is pretty much like totally badass, which is a great place to check all those sexy text messages from Catherine. That's Catherine with a C, not a K. Okay, you see how this is confusing, Atlas? Final Fantasy VII was a game that I remember fondly from my childhood. I mean, a game that I absolutely love, and it has a pretty sweet bar too. Seventh Heaven is not only an establishment meant to serve the lower Midgar slums with large amounts of glorious, glorious alcohol, but also doubles as Avalanche's super awesome, super secret base. All you need to do is pull the lever on the pinball machine in the corner of the room and BAM! You're in! Not to mention when the gang leave to take on Shinra Corporation, Barrett, or Mr. T in my game, leaves his 4-year-old daughter in charge of the bar. A 4-year-old! Someone should call child services or something. Okay, Square Enix, I have a request. We're all waiting on it. Stop making fucking sequels to 13 and make the one we actually want. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm old. I have no problems admitting that, because I spent my early gaming days primarily on both the Sega Genesis and MS-DOS. Now, I love me some DOS. I mean, great games from Jill of the Jungle to Jazz Jackrabbit, from Commander Keen to Wing Commander. One of my fondest memories of DOS was that one lowlife that everyone knows, Leisure Suit Larry. One of the main bars in the game Lefties is a seedy, shady, dirty, pretty well just completely disgusting little bar which serves as a fitting environment for our loser Larry to try and fuck everything that moves. Some of the antics Larry gets to in Lefty's bar includes the consumption of alcohol, stealing a ring from a bathroom, sleeping with a hooker, jumping out a window into a trash bin and staring at multiple naked portraits of various women. Think Cheers, but with more tits. Oh, Conker, you so crazy. Now, I love me some Bad Fur Day, and I love me some strip clubs. So what do you get when you combine the two? You get Rock Solid. Not a euphemism for a direction, but the nightclub Rock Solid. You know the club is awesome before you even get inside. Not only does it have a pretty strict dress code,
no sneakers.
You even need to know a secret password to even get into the premises. That password being...
The password is... Felicia.
Once you get in, you are greeted by some rock strippers. Nice. To let Barry out of her cage, you are required to get piss drunk and move these huge ass boulders around the club with only using your piss. Now if that isn't the most awesome thing ever, I don't know what is. Probably the coolest looking bar in any video game is the Hive from the brilliant Deus Ex Human Revolution. The Hive is so visually interesting and well designed that you could totally imagine walking up a back alley in China in 50 years and see this kind of thing. With some wicked cool architecture, ventilation shafts to completely bypass walking through the front door entirely, computers to hack, and most importantly some quality alcohol, and not to mention some questionable business practices, the Hive is one of the coolest bars in gaming. Question: what is better than a bar on Earth? Answer: a bar in space! Yep, Afterlife is set in a meteorite of all places and is cool for a whole heap of different reasons. From the giant video screen in the center of the club to the wide assortment of Sari pole dancers. Not only that, but you'll also find some very interesting missions to pick up while you're here, whilst under the ever-watchful eye of the club's owner, Aria Talok, who also doubles as the head of the Omega Underworld. Not only is it one of the coolest areas in Mass Effect 2, it's also one of the coolest areas in the entire franchise. I mean, if Afterlife was a real bar, I would totally go there. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm an old bastard. Well, okay, I'm not that old, I'm only like 22, but still. I've already shared my love of DOS, and I knew that my all-time favourite bar had to be one from my childhood, when I was underage and couldn't drink. Legally, anyways. And you know what? I got just the one. Scum from the original Secret of Monkey Island, and later titles as well, was originally named after the engine which the game ran on. The bar itself is a pirate-friendly establishment situated on Melee Island and owned by a pirate named Ignatius Cheese, who won the bar off a gag named Ron, which is an obvious nod to one of the creative leads, Ron Gilbert, in a game of Insult Go Fish. The protagonist of the game, Guybrush Threepwood, first enters the bar to meet three pirate leaders who demand that he prove himself in the arts of sword fighting, thievery, and treasure hunting, in which Guybrush is horrible at all three. In later games in the series, you must return to the bar for various things such as interrogating a drunken sailor holding an empty pretzel basket, stealing grog from the kitchen without being noticed, and competing in various activities such as dart championships and insult arm wrestling. Aside from all the regular pirates you'll see, you'll also get to meet some pretty interesting regulars such as Estevan, Mancomb Seepgood, Spiffy the dog, and many, many more. Let's all just be honest, pirates really know how to drink, and they do it in style and scum bar or lure or whatever you want to call it. I love Monkey Island, and I love this bar. Now if you excuse me, I have some drinking to do. Cheers.